Hi, my name is Eero Kafetz, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Almost anyone who's involved in selling prosperity enjoys helping people. In fact, they'll tell you that's the number one reason they wake up in the morning. I can appreciate that. I don't happen to believe it, but I can appreciate it. Thing is, though, the people who are passionate about helping others live prosperously often inflict more damage and pain on their mentees because A, they don't know how to teach, and B, they're teaching the wrong things. Most are just faking it till they make it. You can't teach prosperity unless you are prosperous. And even when you are, you need to know how to teach. I'm getting tired of all the wannabes, and that's why I'm pumped about hosting my next guest. He's the author of the Black Book of MLM Secrets and I Quit the Death of Network Marketer. But you may know him as the founder of Easy One Up, Wealth Center, and a brand new program titled UEconomy. Peter Wolfing is what I call a natural-born educator who not only lives prosperously but also spreads the message, empowering others to prosper as well. Peter has helped over 400,000 distributors to collectively bring in over $100 million in commissions. And today, I'm picking his brain about what it takes to be prosperous in these exciting times. Peter, thank you so much for being here today.
Igor, I am so happy to be here and to be able to pass some value on to everyone else and all your listeners.
Yeah, and we are pumped to host you. Trust me, it's been a process for me to get you on the show because I've seen your name floating around. I've worked with the people you trained. You know, many of your distributors come to us for traffic, and that's how I heard about your program. So this is a milestone in a way for the list building lifestyle. So we appreciate you being here. And I just want to launch into the first question. I've done some research about you, and I know you are a U.S. Marine. Is that true?
Yeah, it's actually, I am a U.S. Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. And I kind of fell into it because, you know, when you're younger, you kind of feel that when you do it, you're doing what your father was. And my father was a Marine in World War II. And, you know, I figured I'd follow in his footsteps. And I was, you know, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life since I can remember, since 5, I guess. And I didn't really know what it was. You know, if you've got that in your blood, you kind of feel it. And I know many of your listeners feel it. Well, back then, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I loved business, and I was always trying to do something in business, but winging it. I had to wing it for the first 19 years of my life, and at that point, I was trying to figure out different things, and nobody would teach me. And you know, I was a little bit lost during that time. And I said, well, you know, what's the best thing to do? Is try to impress my father. You know, so I went into the Marines in 1981, and you know, it was a very, very good experience for me. I went to the rank of sergeant in about 2 years, which was very difficult to do, and I had an MOS, which was in top secret coding, decoding, and electronics. And if I told you exactly what I did, I'd have to kill you, so I can't do that. But I had a great time. You know, I had multiple businesses on the side, and my entrepreneurism kept on coming out, you know. So I was stationed all around and just ran different things. I went to college at night and just always busy doing something. But it was a great experience for me, not only in learning business type of things, but leadership and how to be able to lead people and what it takes to be able to be a leader.
Awesome. And, you know, it's really good you say that because I think Mike Dillard was the first one to tell me that, you know, when I asked him, like, Mike, how do you operate in this really competitive network marketing business where everyone is selling something, everyone is tapping their friends and family, everybody's, you know, pushing some sort of product, potion or lotion. And he said, well, I don't really consider myself to be in the network marketing business. I'm in the leadership business, which is, you know, if these are the core principles you learn in the Marine Corps, then obviously it makes sense why you became so widely successful in MLM.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the core things that you have to learn in network marketing, and I understand a lot of your people that are listening here are not network marketers, but it also translates itself to business and affiliate marketing and so on, is you have to lead yourself first before you can lead other people. So as you rise up through the ranks of, private and all the way through, lance corporal, all that type of thing, and as you go through the ranks, you're learning how to lead yourself first, because technically you're not leading other people other than someone maybe as a lesser rank from you, but you're learning these crucial skills to be able to lead other people. And as you become a non-commissioned officer, it's important. I went to non-commissioned officer school and things like that to be able to fine-tune and hone those types of things. And you learn little things that you didn't know about leadership, and to be able to lead by example, and these different traits that you can bring into the real world. And it does translate very well into network marketing, because one of the skills is leadership. So you have to lead yourself, and you lead by example. You just don't say, "Hey, join my group and do what I say." It's you're out there, you're on the calls, you're out there, you're at live events, you're bringing people to calls, you're showing them by example what it takes to be successful, the pace at which you have to grow, and then eventually you want to teach them to do the same thing, and obviously kick them out of the nest, so to speak, so they become their own leader. So it has a lot to do with success in network marketing, and a major component of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you basically, you're saying lead yourself first before you can lead others. And if I'm getting this right, you're saying that the definition of leading yourself is simply doing the things that you expect of your followers to do when you ask them to.
Yeah, absolutely. In business, and one of the things I do teach in business, and most of my mentorship and teaching is about the 90%, or I even say 95%, that the war between your ears. And the things that happen between your ears, it's because it's not so much technique of lead generation and so on. It's 90% between your ears first. So that's what I mean by leadership, and teaching yourself first and leading yourself first by going in and saying, "Listen, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this happen." So you lead by example to show your other people and your group and so on, and then they follow you accordingly.
Awesome, which is really a challenge, I think, for many people getting started in MLM or affiliate marketing or anything that requires for them to put themselves out there.
Yeah, you know why? It's mainly because we have this employee mentality, and we've been brought up to be an employee practically our whole life. You're not really taught to be an entrepreneur. You're taught to go through the worker farm, and become a worker, and you're taught to be able to go in and punch a clock, and even through school days, go take a test and you get a score, and go to work and you get a score, and so you're put through this mechanism where you don't necessarily have to really think for yourself as much. And it's all through the mechanism that's already there. So when people get out into their own entrepreneurial field, where they say, "Oh, I'm free, I can do whatever I want," and that's where they blow it, because they don't have the dedication and the skills to be able to be disciplined enough to work for themselves and be self-employed. So that's a big issue they have to overcome with network marketing, and just in affiliate marketing in general, is they have to make sure that they have that discipline as if they were employed, but start it with themselves first, and then they can duplicate that with other people.
Yeah, there's few points that come up for me when you say that. First off, I don't think it's just with affiliate marketing or MLM. I think it's a life issue for many people in general. When they have to get out there in the real world, the freedom that everyone fights so hard for, it's also a downside. The downside of freedom is that you are the only one responsible for the results you're getting. In the book True Believer by Eric Hoffer, I think, they examine the Nazism movement and why Hitler succeeded. And, they say that the German people were perfect for Hitler because they hated the freedom. They did not like to make their own decisions. They did not like to think for themselves. They appreciated someone to come in and just tell them what to do. It just made life so much easier for them.
Yeah, the environment was perfect, for that to happen, and we're really a victim of our environment. There's many sayings that say you're tattooed with your tribe of the way you've been born, the way you've been brought up, and in the German society during that World War II, it was a perfect storm for that to happen, because people were looking for direction, they were looking for leadership, they were poor, very, very poor during that time. And they were looking for someone who says, "I'm going to take you out of this and I'm going to make you proud again." And that was, just a perfect time for that to happen. Sad that it did happen, but, the human expectations, even today, are that people want to have direction. They want the freedom, but do you really, really want the freedom? Because my family, my sisters, they know what I do, and they know that I do very well, and they know that I've helped lots and lots of people, but they're perfectly happy with going to punch a clock. And they don't want that freedom. They would rather have more security than freedom. And that's okay. And I had to come to the realization of that some people just want that. And so it's something that's, I want for my family, and I want for people, and I want it very badly for them. But over years and years and years of going through the pain of them not following in my footsteps, because I know the feeling of freedom, I just had to come to the realization that for some people, it's just, they just want security versus freedom. And that's okay.
Yeah, it took me a while to recognize that, because I've had this exact issue happen with my best friend and my brother, where, I tried helping both, but what I recognized is that they unconsciously reverted back to the safety and the predictability of having the job, of knowing exactly what they need to do every day. Wake up at 7, punch the clock, you're back home at 2, back home at 4, whatever, and there's no guesswork. Right, there's no danger. There's a safety net. The boss will take care of me, whatever. Sure, there's some downsides. There's the limitations. You can't go on vacation. You don't make as much money, and nearly enough, actually. But fine, at least that way they know they get to pay their bills at the end of the month, and they can come home and relax at the end of the day, just expecting to get started all over again tomorrow. And it just, I could never accept it. Like, I just couldn't accept the fact that some people would go and choose that over being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm certifiably unemployable. I have not even considered working for somebody else in almost 30 years. And I guess you have to have a certain makeup for that. And many people, they just love to be in that comfort zone, and it's very comfortable. They're in that ring around them where they're comfortable, and the human condition wants you to be comfortable. And when it starts to get a little rocky and they've gone a little bit too far out of their comfort zone, the thermostat says, get back and bring it back to the certain temperature, and they want to stay in that comfort zone. And people like you and I and many of your listeners on this call, they in turn want to expand that comfort zone. That's what we have to do as entrepreneurs, is always push out the comfort zone and then become comfortable again, and then jump out of the comfort zone again, and thus always expanding what we're being comfortable with, because it's all about growth. It's all about growth and being successful over time. And I always want to grow. I don't want to stay stagnant, and who wants to do that? I want to grow and be able to grow. And of course, failures are going to happen with that. And I've had my share, but that's how you grow and you learn. A great book for your listeners is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Fantastic book about the Stoic mentality. And we just did a recent book study on that. So dynamite book. And we also, many of my colleagues that are still in the Marines use that book. Many people in the SEALs and Rangers, they use that book because it's a great study on how to be able to overcome obstacles and be able to learn from them, even if you can't. So it's a good stuff.
Yeah, well, I think any obstacle is a lesson. It took me a while to figure it out, and it took me even probably longer to accept the reframe, because to me, a failure, even though it's a learned concept, it's not like you're born knowing that failure even exists. It's just something you learn along the way because you're being told you failed. To me, failure sort of become like a stop sign or like a direction sign when you're driving. So when you're driving and you go into I don't know, Ontario, whatever, like you see a sign that says Ontario that way. So failures are just life's unique way of putting down that sign that says, okay, this is where you got to turn, or, make a U-turn, or just go some other way because, the road ahead is blocked, or just not something you need, or it just doesn't work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually starting a not-for-profit called WizKids, WizKids.org, which we're still putting the site up, and we just applied for our 501c3. And what you're talking about is exactly what we want to teach kids from 6 to 18 about failure, about self-improvement, about entrepreneurship, and respect for your peers, and anti-bullying, and being able to stand up for themselves versus peer pressure, and overcoming these types of things, which ultimately raise test scores, right, for kids, and it's been proven to work. But I had to wing it my whole life as a child, as an entrepreneur, and I just didn't want that to happen to other kids that that are maybe in the same position I was, that they're an entrepreneur, they kind of feel it, but they don't know, and they just have to wing it because that's not what they're taught in school. And they're taught in school is you gotta do well on the test, and if you make a mistake, you know it's bad. And so mistakes aren't necessarily bad; they're ways to grow. And we have to be able to teach our kids that to be able to grow and be better than us, to be able to grow as a person, as a leader. And WizKids is going to be doing that as well too. So it's really a way for me to give back, and for having the kids not have to go through what I went through when I was growing up.
Yeah, and it's challenging too because as a parent, I know my daughter is 5.5 years old right now, and I'm going through these stages and I'm observing how she learns. I noticed that at some point she just wanted to say the right thing, so I would give her praise, right? So she and at certain times she would not even give me the answer because she did not know what the right answer was, so she would just hold it in, right? So she doesn't disappoint daddy. And we had to go. We're still going through this kind of reframe that I'm trying to instill in her through positive, anchoring, that trying is what matters. It's not whether you succeed or fail, right? It's trying is that what matters is that you have to be willing to give me the answer, even if you don't know if it's the right one, because it's not about getting it right. It's really not about that. The success in life usually comes to those who are trying the hardest. It's the people who don't really care whether they fail or not because they know eventually they succeed. I mean, however many failures they need to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes from the word desire, and there's a Latin root from there, but which basically means to give birth to or come from within. And desire, as Wallace Waddle says, is the unexpressed possibility from within us seeking to give birth and come out. And you have to see and cultivate that desire of your children, of yourself, and to be able to give birth to that idea so it becomes physical. Because at first, it's inside of you, it's in your dreams, your thoughts, and it's not material yet. And you have to be able to give birth to that idea. But also, one of the laws of the universe is the law of gestation, which means everything has its time. Birth of a baby is 9 months, and there's other things that take certain time. And sometimes your ideas and your dreams take time to be able to develop and to give birth to the idea. Some of the things I'm doing now, it took me 30 years to give birth to that idea because I wasn't in the right place mentally. I wasn't in the right place knowing, and success-wise, and it had to be the right time for me to give birth to that idea. And many people on the call, many of your listeners on the call, you have dreams and goals and desires, and you have to be able to nurture those ideas. So eventually it might come out next week, next month, a year from now, 2 years from now, but eventually you're going to give birth to that idea as long as you go in and you feed it just like you would feed a baby, right? You feed the baby with the right information in your eyes and your ears, and you're listening to the radio show like this, and you're listening to positive information, not the toxic news out there. And just like Igor was saying with his child, he's feeding them the right information. What is the right information about failure? Be able to give the right information, or be able to at least get out there and try it. And it's not so much whether it's right or wrong, but to have the intestinal fortitude, I guess you could say, to want to give out the information and not be concerned whether it's right or wrong, that you're going to learn from that and become stronger in the process. So it's a whole great concept about desire and being able to cultivate that inside of you. That is what's the really most important thing.
And it really comes out when people attempt to do something new, right? Because we often don't believe we're capable. I'm preparing a program right now. It's called the List Building Lifestyle Masterclass. And one of the things we're discussing in the program is our ideal customer avatar and how how our ideal client makes decisions. And one of the things that, the way the client makes decisions, and I'm talking about the classic or, the kind of one-size-fits-all a business opportunity seeker or a person who's looking to for a way to make money online. That person, the way they make decisions and the way they conclude things is if it's something that's brand new, I need to be qualified to be able to do it. In other words, like to make, hypothetically speaking, to make a doctor's income, I need a doctorate degree. They can't, a lot of them can't comprehend the idea that there is no credential that is required for you to be able to make really good money, and there is no one's permission that you need to seek. You can just try it. Sure, you'll fail at first, but eventually you get to a point where you do, where you make the impossible.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you've read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and
Yep.
he's saying 10,000 hours of diligent, focused effort to be able to be world class at anything. And I'm sure doctors and so on are much more than that. But in affiliate marketing and in network marketing, we're not saying that many hours. Hey, maybe a few hundred focused, diligent, practiced, burning passion type of hours that you're putting into your business. You could become world class and write your own paycheck. It's incredible. The society that we're in today, the entrepreneurial realm that we're in today with all the technology, people should not be afraid to start a business. And if they fail, so what? A business that we have right now on our cell phone that we're able to do something that spans the globe might have cost $1 million in 2000. And now you can start it up for a few $100. I mean, come on. It's incredible the opportunity that's out there in all sorts of different realms, whether it's network marketing or whether it's affiliate marketing or anything. The digital age is upon us, and I just find it fascinating. And the opportunity is so huge out there for the people out there that take it and run with it. It's crazy.
Technology has become sort of the bridge that closed the gap between our dreams and our goals, while not having the resources to now being able to start amazing projects, nonprofits, startup companies.
Yeah, absolutely. It's if you think about it, that everything you could possibly ever want to know about something you want to start is already on Google. It's there, right? But the gap between knowing and doing is like the Grand Canyon. Right. So all the information is there. If you want to start a business, you want to start, create a product, you want to go into a network marketing program, whatever you want to do, it's all there on YouTube and Instagram and Google. Search it up. But the information is there. The information, you have to take focused action on the information. That's where the gap is. So we got to take that gap and make it really small, and you have to take focused action on that action, on that information, and then it's going to happen for you. So combine that with what Napoleon Hill says, burning desire, all-consuming burning desire, and you can't lose. You can't lose.
You sure can't. I mean, as long as you try hard enough for long enough, eventually you will succeed. So
That's
Peter,
right.
I'm curious, can you tell us a little bit more about UEconomy?
Well, UEconomy, the general idea of UEconomy is to have people become their own economy. Thus, the letter U. U is not YOU, it's U, and is representative of all the members. And thus, people can become their own economy. In really one word, it's becoming sovereign. Becoming sovereign over your life. So that this way, it's a wonderful place to be. In that, if you have the knowledge between your ears, and if they stripped away everything away from you and they dropped me in Bangladesh or Boise, Idaho, I can make money. And that's freedom, and that's being sovereign over your life, that you're in control of it's your kingdom. You can be in control over it. It doesn't matter what the president does or what China does or the economic situation or political situation or anything, because nothing is really good or bad. It just is. It's all relative to what you compare it to. So you, in turn, can see that situation, to not panic, to be able to know I need to go up or I need to go down, I need to go sideways, and because you have the knowledge to be able to go in any direction you want, and that's sovereignty, and that's thus becoming your own economy. So we have digital education in the back there, and basically teaching people what they don't teach in school, okay? And we have live education. We also have recorded education in the back. We do book studies every single week. You've heard me mention a few of them. And but we really believe first we're a secondary education company that happens to have a business opportunity attached to it, and thus be able to create people that are independent and have that happen anywhere in the world. I'm so proud of the things that I've done over the past 20 years, and actually the numbers are much higher than you had given before. If you count all the people in the international countries, it's over 2 million people that have come into my businesses and done very, very well over the years. So it's really about impact, and it's about contribution to people. And UEconomy is really the culmination of me learning over the past 30 years what works and what doesn't, and passing on my knowledge in a compact format for people from anywhere from $20 to $60 up to $50,000. It depends on, if you want to go on a cruise, and we'll teach you on a cruise, or we'll teach you all over the place. So it depends on what is right for you at the time and how far you want to get into it. And then we'll be able to teach you along the way and be able to show you how you can be sovereign in your own life.
Awesome. Where do we go to find out more?
Just go to ueconomy.com. And actually, you can go to ueconomytv.com, and there's a whole webinar you can watch regarding what it's all about and how it works. And if you have any questions, by all means, I'll be happy to help you and guide you to someone in our program that can assist you.
Awesome. So you heard him, boys and girls. It's ueconomytv.com for the webinar, or ueconomy.com for the actual program, which you can register and go, improve your prosperity capability, as I'd like to call it. Well, Peter, thank you so much for taking the time to rap with me today. I took like a good page worth of notes, and I know this stuff inside out, but still, this is pretty good stuff. I really appreciate all the concepts we talk about, the leadership concepts, the not minding the failure, the perspective that you briefly mentioned, how everything is perspective, right? Relative to where you are in your life and what you've experienced before. I highly recommend, list builders, you listen to this call again, especially if you feel down or if you feel lost, because many, many great insights shared today.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for coming on here, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future. Good luck, everybody.
Peter, thank you very much. And until next time we chat, have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kafetz, and until next time we talk, have a good one.